Ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed that we have finally established communication with an eyewitness of the tragedy. Professor Pearson has been located at a farmhouse near Grover's Mill, where he has established an emergency observation post. As a scientist, he will give you his explanation of the calamity. The next voice you hear will be that of Professor Pearson, brought to you by direct wire. Professor Pearson.
Of the creatures in the rocket cylinder at Grover's Mill, I can give you no authoritative information, either as to their nature, their origin, or their purposes here on Earth. Of their destructive instrument, I might venture some conjectural explanation. For want of a better term, I shall refer to the mysterious weapon as a heat ray. It's all too evident that these creatures have scientific knowledge far in advance of our own. It's my guess that in some way they are able to generate an intense heat in a chamber of practically absolute non-conductivity. This intense heat they project in a parallel beam against any object they choose by means of a polished parabolic mirror of unknown composition, much as the mirror of a lighthouse projects a beam of light. That is my conjecture of the origin of the heat ray.
Thank you, Professor Pearson. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a bulletin from Trenton. It is a brief statement informing us that the charred body of Carl Phillips has been identified in a Trenton hospital. Now here's another bulletin from Washington, D.C. The Office of the Director of the National Red Cross reports 10 units of Red Cross emergency workers have been assigned to the headquarters of the state militia, stationed outside of Grover's Mill, New Jersey. Here's a bulletin from State Police, Princeton Junction. The fires at Grover's Mill and vicinity are now under control. Scouts report all quiet in the pit, and there is no sign of life appearing from the mouth of the cylinder. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special statement from Mr. Harry McDonald, Vice President in charge of operations.
We have received a request from the State Militia of Trenton to place at their disposal our entire broadcasting facilities. In view of the gravity of the situation, and believing that radio has a responsibility to serve in the public interest at all times, we are turning over our facilities to the State Militia at Trenton.
We take you now to the field headquarters of the state militia near Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
This is Captain Lansing of the Signal Corps, attached to the state militia, now engaged in military operations in the vicinity of Grover's Mill. Situation arising from the reported presence of certain individuals of unidentified nature is now under complete control. The cylindrical object that lies in a pit directly below our position, surrounded on all sides by 8 battalions of infantry, without heavy field pieces, but adequately armed with rifles and machine guns. All cause for alarm, if such cause ever existed, is now entirely unjustified. Things, whatever they are, do not even venture to poke their heads above the pit. I can see their hiding place plainly in the glare of the searchlights here. With all their reported resources, these creatures can scarcely stand up against heavy machine gun fire. Anyway, it's an interesting outing for the troops. I can make out their khaki uniforms crossing back and forth in front of the lights. Looks almost like a real war. There appears to be some slight smoke in the woods bordering the Millstone River, probably fire started by campers. Well, we ought to see some action soon. One of the companies is deploying on the left flank. A quick thrust and it'll all be over. Now, wait a minute, I see something on top of the cylinder. No, it's nothing but a shadow. Now the troops are on the edge of the Wilmot Farm. 7,000 armed men closing in on an old metal tube. A tub, rather. Well, wait, that wasn't a shadow, it's something moving. Solid metal, kind of a shield-like affair rising up out of the cylinder. Going higher and higher. But it's standing on legs, actually rearing up on a sort of metal framework. Now it's reaching above the trees and the searchlights are on it. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a grave announcement to make. Incredible as it may seem, both the observations of science and the evidence of our eyes lead to the inescapable assumption that those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars. The battle which took place tonight at Grover Mills has ended in one of the most startling defeats ever suffered by an army in modern times. 7,000 men armed with rifles and machine guns pitted against the single fighting machine of the invaders from Mars. 120 known survivors. The rest strewn over the battle area from Grover's Mill to Plainsboro, crushed and trampled to death under the metal feet of the monster, or burned to cinders by its heat ray. The monster is now in control of the middle section of New Jersey and has effectively cut the state through its center. Communication lines are down from Pennsylvania to the Atlantic Ocean. Railroad tracks are torn and service from New York to Philadelphia discontinued, except routing some of the trains through Allerton and Phoenixville. Highways to the north, south, and west are clogged with frantic human traffic. Police and army reserves are unable to control the mad flight. By morning, the fugitives will have swung Philadelphia, Camden, and Trenton. It is estimated to twice their normal population. Martial law prevails throughout New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania. At this time, we take you to Washington for a special broadcast on the national emergency. The Secretary of the Interior.
Citizens of the nation, I shall not try to conceal the gravity of the situation that confronts the country, nor the concern of your government in protecting the lives and property of its people. However, I wish to impress upon you, private citizens and public officials, all of you, the urgent need of calm and resourceful action. Fortunately, this formidable enemy is still confined to a comparatively small area, and we may place our faith in the military forces to keep them there. In the meantime, placing our faith in God, we must continue the performance of our duties, each and every one of us, so that we may confront this destructive adversary with a nation united, courageous, and consecrated to the preservation of human supremacy on this earth. I thank you.
You have just heard the Secretary of the Interior speaking from Washington. Bulletins too numerous to read are piling up in the studio here. We're informed that the central portion of New Jersey is blacked out from radio communication due to the effect of the heat ray upon power lines and electrical equipment. Here is a special bulletin in New York. Cables have been received from English, French, and German scientific bodies offering assistance. Astronomers report continued gas outbursts at regular intervals on the planet Mars. The majority voiced the opinion that the enemy will be reinforced by additional rocket machines. There have been several attempts made to locate Professor Pearson of Princeton, who has observed Martians at close range. It is feared he was lost in the recent battle. Langham Field, Virginia. Scouting planes report 3 Martian machines visible above treetops, moving north toward Somerville with population fleeing ahead of them. The heat ray is not in use, although advancing at express train speed. Invaders pick their way carefully. They seem to be making a conscious effort to avoid destruction of cities and countryside. However, they stop to uproot power lines, bridges, and railroad tracks. Their apparent objective is to crush resistance, paralyze communication, and disorganize human society. Here is a bulletin from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. Coon hunters have stumbled on a second cylinder similar to the first, embedded in the great swamp 20 miles south of Morristown. Army field pieces are proceeding from Newark to blow up the second invading unit before the cylinder can be opened and the fighting machine rigged. They're taking up a position in the foothills of Watchung Mountain. Another bulletin from Langham Field, Virginia. Scouting planes report enemy machines, now 3 in number, increasing speed northward, kicking over houses and trees in their evident haste to form a conjunction with their allies south of Morristown. Machines also sighted by telephone operator east of Middlesex within 10 miles of Plainfield. Here's a bulletin from Winston-Field, Long Island. A fleet of Army bombers carrying heavy explosives flying north in pursuit of enemy. Scouting planes act as guides. They keep the speeding enemy in sight. Just a moment, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Please turn the cassette over at this point to begin side 2.
We've run special wires to the artillery line and adjacent villages to give you direct reports from the zone of the advancing enemy. First, we take you to the battery of the 22nd Field Artillery, located in the Watchung Mountains.
Range 32 meters.
32 meters.
Projection 39 degrees.
39 degrees.
Fire.
140 yards to the right, sir.
Ship range 31 meters.
31 meters.
Projection 37 degrees.
37 degrees.
Fire.
Yes, sir. What's the type of the one of them? They're soft. The others are trying to repair it.
Get the range. Ship 50-30 meters.
30 meters. Projection 27 degrees. 27 degrees. Fire. Can't see the cell answer. Letting off a smoke. What is it? Black smoke, sir. Moving this way. Lying close to the ground. Moving fast. Put on gas mask. The 30 to fire. Shift to 24 meters. 24 meters. Projection 24 degrees. 24 degrees. Fire. There can't see, sir. Smoke's coming nearer. Careful, range. 33 meters. 23 meters. 43 meters. 22 degrees. 22 degrees. Army bombing plane B-843 off Bayonne, New Jersey. Lieutenant Boat, commanding 8 bombers, reporting to Commander Fairfax, Langham Field. This is Boat reporting to Commander Fairfax, Langham Field. Enemy tripod machines now in sight. Reinforced by 3 machines from the Morristown cylinder. 6 altogether. 1 machine partially crippled. Believed hit by shell from Army gun in Watchung Mountains. Guns now appear silent. A heavy black fog hanging close to the earth of extreme density, nature unknown. No sign of heat ray. Enemy now turns east, crossing Passaic River into the Jersey marshes. Another straddles the Pulaski Skyway. Evident objective is New York City. They're pushing down a high-tension power station. The machines are close together now, and we're ready to attack. Planes circling, ready to strike. 1,000 yards and we'll be over the first. $800 yards. $600. $400. $200. There they go. The giant arm raised. Green flash. They're spraying us with flame. 2,000 feet. Engines are giving out. No chance to release bombs. Only one thing left. Drop on them, plane and all. We're diving on the first one. Now the engine's gone. Hey! This is Bayonne, New Jersey, calling Langham Field. This is Bayonne, New Jersey, calling Langham Field. Come in, please. This is Langham Field. Go ahead. 8 Army bombers in engagement with enemy tripod machines over Jersey Flats. Engines incapacitated by heat ray. All crashed. 1 enemy machine destroyed. Enemy now discharging heavy black smoke in direction of... This is Newark, New Jersey. This is Newark, New Jersey. Warning. Poisonous black smoke pouring in from Jersey marshes. Street is South Street. Gas mask useless. Urge population to move into open spaces. Automobiles use routes 7, 23, 24. Avoid congested areas. Smoke now spreading over Raymond Boulevard. X2L calling CQ, 2X2L calling CQ, 2X2L calling 8X3R. Come in, please. This is 8X3R coming back at 2X2L. How's reception? How's reception? Okay, please. Where are you, 8X3R? What's the matter? Where are you?
I'm speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building. I'm speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building, New York City. The bells you hear are ringing to warn the people to evacuate the city as Martians approach.
Estimated in the last 2 hours, 3 million people have moved out along the roads to the north. Hutchison River Parkway is still kept open for motor traffic. Avoid bridges to Long Island, hopelessly jammed. All communication with Jersey Shore closed 10 minutes ago. No more defenses. Our army is wiped out. Artillery, Air Force, everything wiped out. This may be the last broadcast. We'll stay here to the end. People are holding service here below us in the cathedral. Now I look down the harbor, all manner of boats, overloaded with fleeing population pulling out from docks. Streets are all jammed. Noise in crowds like New Year's Eve in city. Wait a minute, the enemy's now in sight above the Palisades. Five great machines. First one is crossing the river. I can see it from here, wading the Hudson like a man wading through a brook. A bulletin is handed me. Martian cylinders are falling all over the country. One outside of Buffalo, one in Chicago, St. Louis. Seem to be timed in space. Now the first machine reaches the shore. He stands watching, looking over the city. Steel Cowley's head is even with the skyscrapers. He waits for the others. They rise like a line of new towers on the city's west side. Now they're lifting their metal hands. This is the end now. Smoke comes out, black smoke drifting over the city. People in the streets see it now. They're running toward the East River, thousands of them, dropping in like rats. Now the smoke's spreading faster. It's reached Times Square. People are trying to run away from it, but it's no use. They're falling like flies. Now the smoke's crossing 6th Avenue. 5th Avenue. 100 yards away. It's 50 feet.
X2L calling CQ. 2X2L calling CQ. 2X2L calling CQ, New York. Isn't there anyone on the air? Isn't there anyone on the air? Isn't there anyone? 2X2L.
You are listening to a CBS presentation of Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air in an original dramatization of The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. The performance will continue after a brief intermission. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, starring Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the Air.
As I set down these notes on paper, I'm obsessed by the thought that I may be the last living man on Earth. I've been hiding in this empty house near Grover's Mill, a small island of daylight cut off by the black smoke from the rest of the world. All that happened before the arrival of these monstrous creatures in the world now seems part of another life. Life that has no continuity with the present. Furtive existence of the lonely derelict who pencils these words on the back of some astronomical notes bearing the signature of Richard Pearson. I look down at my blackened hair and I try to connect them with a professor who lives at Princeton and who, on the night of October 20th, glimpsed through his telescope an orange splash of light on a distant planet. My wife, my colleagues, my students, my books, my observatory, my world. Where are they? Did they ever exist? Am I Richard Pearson? What day is it? Do days exist without calendars? Does time pass when there are no human hands left to wind the clocks? In writing down my daily life, I tell myself I shall preserve human history between the dark covers of this little book that was meant to record the movements of the stars. But to write, I must live, and to live, I must eat. Find moldy bread in the kitchen and an orange not too spoiled to swallow. Keep watch at the window. Time to time, I catch sight of a Martian above the black smoke. Smoke still holds the house in its black coil, but at length there's a hissing sound, and suddenly I see a Martian mounted on his machine, spraying the air with a jet of steam as if to dissipate the smoke. I watch in a corner as his huge metal legs nearly brush against the house. Exhausted by terror, I fall asleep. Morning. Morning. Sun streams from the window. Black cloud of gas is lifted, and the scorched meadows to the north look as though a black snowstorm had passed over them. I venture from the house. I make my way to a road, no traffic. Here and there, a wrecked car, baggage overturned, a blackened skeleton. Push on north. For some reason I feel safer trailing these monsters than running away from them. And I keep a careful watch. I've seen the Martians feed. Should one of their machines appear over the top of trees, I'm ready to fling myself flat on the earth. Come to a chestnut tree. October. Chestnuts are ripe. Fill my pockets. Just keep alive. 2 days I wander in a vague northerly direction through a desolate world. Finally, I notice a living creature. A small red squirrel in a beech tree. I stare at him and wonder. He stares back at me. I believe at that moment the animal and I shared the same emotion. The joy of finding another living being. Push on north. I find dead cows in a brackish field, and beyond the charred ruins of a dairy, the silo remains standing guard over the wasteland like a lighthouse, deserted by the sea. Astride the silo perches a weathercock. The arrow points north. North. Next day, I come to a city. City vaguely familiar in its contours, yet its buildings strangely dwarfed and leveled off as if a giant had sliced off its highest towers with a capricious sweep of his hand. Reached the outskirts, I found Newark. Newark, undemolished but humbled by some whim of the advancing Martians. Presently, with an odd feeling of being watched, I caught sight of something crouching in a doorway. I made a step towards it and rose up and became a man. A man armed with a large knife.
Stop! Where do you come from?
Oh, I come from many places. A long time ago, from Princeton.
Princeton, huh? That's near Grover's Mill.
Yes.
Grover's Mill. There's no food here. This is my country. All this end of town down the river. There's only food for one. Which way are you going?
I don't know. I guess I'm looking for people.
Hey, what was that? You hear something just then?
No, only a bird. A live bird.
Yeah. You get to know that birds have shadows these days. Hey, we're in the open here. Let's crawl in this doorway here and talk.
Have you seen any Martians?
Ah. They're going over to New York. Night, the sky is alive with their lights, just as if people were still living in it. By daylight, you can't see them. 5 days ago, a couple of them carried something big across the flats from the airport. I think they're learning how to fly.
Fly?
Yeah, fly.
Huh. Well, it's all over with humanity. Stranger, it's still you and I. 2 of us left.
Yeah. They got themselves in solid. They wrecked the greatest country in the world. Those green stars, they're probably falling somewhere every night. They've only lost one machine. There isn't anything to do. We're done. We're licked.
Where were you? You're in a uniform.
Yeah, what's left of it. I was in the militia. National Guard. That's good. There wasn't any war. Any more than there's war between men and ants.
Yes, but we're eatable ants. I found that out. What'll they do to us?
I thought it all out. Right now, we're caught as we're wanted. The Martian only has to go a few miles to get a crowd on the run. But they won't keep on doing that. They'll begin catching us systematic, like keeping the best and storing us in cages and things. They haven't begun on us yet.
Not begun?
Not begun. All that's happened so far is because we don't have sense enough to keep quiet. Bothering them with guns and such stuff and losing our heads and rushing off in crowds. No, instead of our rushing around blind, we got to fix ourselves up. Fix ourselves up according to the way things are now. Cities, nations, civilization, progress.
Yes, but if that's so, what is there to live for?
Well, there won't be any more concerts for 1,000,000 years or so and no nice little dinners at restaurants. If it's amusement you're after, I guess the game's up.
What is there left?
Life, that's what. I want to live. Yeah, and so do you. We're not going to be exterminated. And I don't mean to be caught either. Tamed and fattened and bred like an ox.
What are you going to do?
I'm going on. Right under their feet. I got a plan. We men, as men, we're finished. We don't know enough. We got to learn plenty before we got a chance. We've got to live and keep free while we learn, see? I've thought it all out, see?
Well, tell me the rest.
Well, it isn't all of us that are made for wild beasts. That's what it got to. That's what it got to be. That's why I watched you. Watched you. All those little office workers that used to live in these houses. They be no good. They haven't any stuff in them. They used to run off to work. I've seen hundreds of them running to catch their commuter's train in the morning, afraid they'd get canned if they didn't. Running back at night, afraid they wouldn't be in time for dinner. Lives insured and a little invested in case of accident. Yeah, and on Sundays, worried about the hereafter. The Martians, they'd be a godsend for those. Nice roomy cages, good food, careful breeding, no worries. Yeah, after a week or so of chasing around the fields on empty stomachs, they'll come and be glad to be caught.
You've thought it all out, haven't you?
Sure, you bet I have. That isn't all. These Martians are going to make pets of them. Train them to do tricks. Who knows, get sentimental over the pet boy who grew up and had to be killed. Yeah, and some maybe, they'll train to hunt us.
Impossible.
Yes, they will. There's men who do it gladly. One of them ever comes after me, by...
In the meantime, you and I and others like us, where are we to live when the Martians own the Earth?
I got it all figured out. We live underground. I've been thinking about the sewers. Under New York, there are miles and miles of them. The main ones, they're big enough for anybody. And there's cellars, vaults, underground storerooms, railway tunnels, subways. You begin to see, huh? We got a bunch of strong men together. No weakness. That rubbish, out.
As you meant me to go.
All right. Give you a chance, didn't I?
Won't quarrel about that. Go on.
Well, you got to make safe places for us to stay in, see? Get all the books we take. Science books. That's where men like you come in, see? We raid the museums.
We'll even spy on the Martians. May not be so much we have to learn before... Just imagine this. 4 or 5 of their own fighting machines suddenly start off. Heat rays right and left. Not a Martian in them. Not a Martian in them, see? But men. Men who've learned the way how. Maybe in our time. Gee. Imagine having one of them lovely things with a heat ray wide and free. We turn it on Martians. We turn it on men. We bring everybody down on their knees.
That's your plan.
You. Me. Mark. We own the world.
I see.
Hey. Hey, what's the matter? Where are you going?
Not to your world. Bye, stranger. Well, after parting with the artilleryman, I came at last to the Holland Tunnel, entered that silent tube. Anxious to know the fate of the great city on the other side of the Hudson. Cautiously, I came out of the tunnel and made my way up Canal Street. Reached 14th Street, and there again were black powder and several bodies and an evil, ominous smell from the gratings of the cellars of some of the houses. I wandered up through the 30s and 40s, stood alone on Times Square. Caught sight of a lean dog running down 7th Avenue with a piece of dark brown meat in his jaws. A pack of starving mongrels to feed. Made a wide circle around me, so he feared I might prove a fresh competitor. Walked up Broadway in the direction of that strange powder, that silent shop windows, displaying their mute wares to empty sidewalks. Past the Capitol Theater, silent, dark. Past the shooting gallery where a row of empty guns faced an arrested line of wooden ducks. Near Columbus Circle, I noticed models of 1939 motor cars in the showrooms facing empty streets. Over the top of the General Motors building, I watched a flock of black birds circling in the sky. Hurried on. Suddenly, I caught sight of the hood of a Martian machine, standing somewhere in Central Park, gleaming in the late afternoon sun. Insane idea. I rushed recklessly across Columbus Circle and into the park. I climbed a small hill above the pond at 60th Street, and from there I could see standing in a silent row along the mall 19 of those great metal titans, their cowls empty, their steel arms hanging listlessly by their sides. I looked in vain for the monsters that inhabit those machines. Suddenly my eyes were attracted to the immense flock of black birds that hovered directly below me. They circled to the ground. And there before my eyes, stark and silent, lay the Martians with the hungry birds pecking and tearing brown shreds of flesh from their dead bodies. Later, when their bodies were examined in laboratories, it was found that they were killed by the putrefactive and disease bacteria against which their systems were unprepared. Slain, after all, man's defenses had failed. By the humblest thing that God, His wisdom, has put upon this earth. Before the cylinder fell, there was a general persuasion that through all the deep of space, no life existed beyond the petty surface of our minute sphere. Now we see further. Dim and wonderful is the vision I've conjured up in my mind of life spreading slowly from this little seedbed of the solar system throughout the inanimate vastnesses of sidereal space. But a remote dream, maybe that the destruction of the Martians is only a reprieve to them and not to us. The future ordained perhaps. Strange it now seems to sit in my peaceful study, Princeton, writing down this last chapter of the record, begun at a deserted farm in Grover's Mill. Strange to watch children playing in the streets. Strange to see young people strolling on the green where the new spring grass heals the last black scars of the bruised earth. Strange to watch the sightseers enter the museum where the dissembled parts of a Martian machine are kept on public view. Strange when I recall the time when I first saw it. Bright and clean cut, hard, and silent under the dawn of that last great day. This is Orson Welles, ladies and gentlemen, out of character, to assure you that the War of the Worlds has no further significance than as the holiday offering it was intended to be. The Mercury Theater's own radio version of dressing up in a sheet and jumping out of a bush and saying boo. Starting now, we couldn't soap all your windows and steal all your garden gates. By tomorrow night, so we did the best next thing. We annihilated the world before your very ears and utterly destroyed the CBS. You will be relieved, I hope, to learn that we didn't mean it, and that both institutions are still open for business. So goodbye, everybody, and remember, please, for the next day or so, the terrible lesson you learned tonight. That grinning, glowing, globular invader of your living room is an inhabitant of the pumpkin patch, and if your doorbell rings and nobody's there, that was no Martian, it's Halloween. Tonight, the Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations coast to coast has brought you The War of the World by H.G. Wells, the 17th in its weekly series of dramatic broadcasts featuring Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater on the air. Next week, we present a dramatization of 3 famous short stories. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
had one lesson. Never had one lesson.
Only if Iran continues to fight. That would basically have the inverse effect of a peace subsidy, shrinking the bargaining range, and under most circumstances, failing to smooth over the bargaining frictions.
The first thing I said was just that, that people who experience discrimination under the city's programs, housing ordinances or practically the program would qualify. That's what I read in Associated Press, but the draft of the guidelines for the program that Tina just gave us says that to qualify you have to be Black.
Wait, the report?
No, the guideline for the program itself. So
Oh,
the city of Evanston published its guidelines for the program, and section 4 of that document states the terms for eligibility, and one of those terms is race, Black.
Yeah, Black race of the person you descend from, correct?
For you, if you're still alive and you experience and you experience housing discrimination in Evanston during that period.
Well, if you're a quadroon who identifies as white, but whose great granddaddy was denied something in 1928 because he was a Negro, you actually would be eligible.
Yeah, and the person who was
The quadroon eligibility.
They're claiming discrimination to an ancestor that was not Black in Evanston. Nor was the person they descend from who lived in Evanston.
So I wonder if it's done on purpose.
Well, what kind of discrimination were they claiming? Jewish?
I don't know. It wasn't a good point. It just said that they claimed that the reason they didn't qualify is because of race. They were excluded on the
If you're invented, then you should. You know, if you're naive, it's not a crime. If you were ignorant, it's not a crime. But if you were resilient,
and not have any language like that, and the way it'll wash out is it'll be 99.9% of Blacks, and the occasional Jew or Latino or Irishman or something.
That's what I assumed. That's what I assumed the program said. That's what I thought it was going to say. I was shocked to see race explicitly included in there.
Yeah, it's very explicit. For all the people
for all the reparationists who have made the argument that we should listen to or hear from Republicans around the creating policies, or for all those who have sort of at times asked the question, well, what about policies explicitly for the black man? Well, here you have one instance that answers both questions, and see what the Republican administration thinks about policies around reparations. And we see
now they are best friends.
I'm not sure. I don't want to assume. Evanston City Council. I have to see how many Republicans are on the Evanston City Council.
Zero Republicans. I gotta leave here. I gotta go to the gym. Never had one lesson. This is John Kitover, Chicago mayoral candidate, creating videos to liberate the city of Chicago from liberal, intellectual, Democrat progressives. One video clip at a time. Go to ChicagoMayorVote.com, ChicagoVoteRegistration.com, or ChicagoMayorElect.com, or ChicagoMayoral.com, or just Google John Kitover. Rabono Shalom, we need your campaign donations for this Chicago mayoral race, and we need your signature now on our petitions. Today's the official campaign launch party for John Kitover, Chicago mayoral candidate 2027. Like, share, and subscribe to this video.
¿Eres tu maestro? Sí, soy un maestro.
If you haven't figured out what I'm doing, I'm creating clips. Here for YouTube, exclusive. John Kitover directs Mozart, the next mayor of Chicago, the greatest artist in Chicago, greater than Obama and his husband, Michael. I hear U2 and Bono are performing at the Obama Center. Wow! What a show that's going to be. Tickets are only going to be $80,000. You can get an Obama ticket with Bono and U2. That's a big ticket in Chicago. Progressive have any final words to say? Hello? Prepare to fire arms! Fire! world famous Paganini. You are listening to the world famous Paganini. You are listening to the world You are listening to the world famous Paganini. You are listening to the world famous Paganini. You are listening. It's true, they're building all these AI data centers for people like me. Creators. I am a creator. You are listening to the world famous Paganini. my friend. Welcome, my friend.
What's up? It's been a while. How are you?
Rabono Shalom, I'm listening to Paganini.
Oh, that was nice. Very, very good music. Sometimes, John, I'll be honest, I love talking with you. But sometimes when I talk with you, I'm afraid that you're disappointed in me because I'm still wasting my life. But then I remember, you're wasting your life.
Hello? You're in the Matrix, my friend. I heard something about that you're a waste of life and that you're disappointed in yourself. Sorry, you were in the Matrix. I couldn't hear you, my friend. What were you saying about your disappointing life?
I said, sometimes when I said I love talking with you, but sometimes when I talk with you, I'm afraid that you're going to be disappointed in me because I'm still wasting my life.
Oh, that's just
Then I remember.
No, you are wasting your life even telling me. No, I heard you twice now. I was just being facetious.
Okay.
You're wasting your life, yeah. I am judging you now because you've wasted your time twice now telling me about how you're wasting your life and I'm wasting my life. But you see, my friend, there's a difference here. I'm not wasting my life. You're wasting your life. And in the same way that your opinion and my opinion, it's just opinion. It's not a fact. It's not the truth. It's just like your opinion or something, my friend. But anyways, my friend, you know how I know when you won't be wasting your life or your time? Like these fucking losers here in Andrew's brain rot room who go on and on and on, lose all their focus and attention and opportunity. What a waste of fucking time these strokers do. It's like if I could just film them and automate the filming, well, then I'd have a product. And these losers would be just like these drone slaves, endlessly talking, endlessly trolling each other, endlessly wasting their time. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Some of you may have never heard of this before. This is called classical music. It's Paganini. It's better than listening to you all run your fucking mouths all day. Take a zipper and just put it over that fucking mouth. Oh, that means you have to use your ears now. Stop using those fucking lips. Those big fucking lips. That big fucking mouth. Why did she kick? Okay, more Carmelo Anthony, 24/7,
You're not gonna
7 days a week.
Shit. I'm not a faggot. You're not gonna get that on me. First of all, that is public property. The schoolies.
I know, it's a beach.
So
You're not gonna fuck me.
No. But the tent you purchased as your tent. That's different. That's your. You have.
Yeah, it's their tent. They all. It's their tent for their school.
Their school purchased it. Okay, it's not private. It's not a private event.
This is a weird thing. You do know that the coaches said that he's supposed to be on the tent, right? You do understand that everyone said he's supposed to be on the tent, right? Including the
he was supposed to be on the tent. That's not true.
Yes, he did know. Yes,
They're saying something to him. He wasn't supposed to be under there.
School.
Coach
Roberts. Okay, all right. Look up Robert Starr. Just look up his testimony, and it goes into detail about that, as well as Tiffany. As well as Tiffany Whitfield, who also said the same thing. She was a trainer. And this is part of the case. Y'all don't care about facts. Y'all like y'all don't.
Wait a second. No,
we do. We do.
Just wait a second. It's true. That's what Austin's coach testified. He also was feeling massive guilt for not being there. Do you remember that part? Because he wasn't there under the sun. Okay, so hold on. There's a part 2 to that.
You guys still crying about the Carmelo Anthony verdict?
Did you shut the fuck up and get off my stage, you cocksucking faggot? Get off the fucking stage.
That nigga, my friend, my ass, man.
So the second part was, there is obvious, would you agree that there's an incentive for him to say that kids don't go under each other's tents? Yes or no? Just that it's an incentive, not that it's true or false, just that he has an incentive.
I don't see any incentive to say such a thing.
You're a dishonest dude. All right, I'm just gonna keep going though.
You are a dishonest interlocutor.
You don't have to agree, you don't have to agree. But I think the honest interlocutors here that aren't saying that, I think the honest interlocutors here, okay, would say that even if it's a slight possibility, there's a large incentive for that coach to testify that thing, because that they don't go under each other's tent. Because what did Coach literally testify? He said the complete opposite. The organized chaos. He says it's common for kids to go under his tents. He also said, or there was another witness that said, yeah, I've even been under Memorial tent before. We've gone under the tents before. But now, you could also agree that, does he have an incentive because he's Carmelo's coach? Yeah, sure, of course.
My friend. Hello? Hello? Okay, this is called mindfulness. Mindfulness is the path to immortality. Negligence is the path to death. The vigilant will never die, whereas the negligent are the living dead. With this understanding, the wise, having developed a high degree of mindfulness, rejoice in mindfulness, delighting in the domain of the noble ones. These awakened ones, dedicated to meditation, striving actively and vigorously, attain nirvana, the ultimate serenity, the ultimate security, the fame and fortune of the man who is vigorous, aware, unsullied, acting with consideration and restraint, become ever growing. The wise man by vigor, mindfulness, restraint, and self-control creates for himself an island which no flood can submerge. The foolish, the unwise surrender themselves to negligence, whereas the wise man protects his mindfulness as his most valuable possession. Don't lose yourself in negligence. Don't lose yourself in sensuality, for it is the mindful and meditative man who will experience supreme happiness. When the enlightened man frees himself from careless behavior through mindfulness. Free of sorrow, he gazes on the sorrowing masses as one on the mountaintop gazes on the plain below. The mindful person among the mindless, the aware person among the unaware, surpasses the rest with his wisdom, like a superb racehorse, outstripping an old worn-out horse. It's like, if you don't support Trump, I mean, what baseball team are you rooting for? You ain't rooting for America. Let's get her done. That's called an antique from eBay. Where'd you get your Masonic apron, John? eBay.
My name is
one lesson. It's not working. Never had one lesson. Most successful classical musician on YouTube today. He doesn't even play. He's so good. Keep the hits coming, that's what they say. Keep them coming. Hit them again, hit them hard. Keep the hits coming. The music magazines always ask me, John, how do you stay successful in music? I say you gotta keep the hits coming. It's not easy to stay relevant these days. All the best music's already been made. John, where did you go to music school? Oh, I went to Carnegie. Or what's the famous one called? Where'd you go to school? Where'd you go to music school, John? I went to Clown Town. I went to the clown tent. I just hung out with the gypsies at the circus. They taught me how to play the fiddle. Oh, he went to music school at Carnegie Mellon. Oh, the grace! This band has such grace, such presence. John, you're not even playing. Nowadays, people don't even play the instruments. They just pretend they're playing instruments on YouTube. You are listening to the world-famous Paganini, performed by Chicago mayoral candidate John Kitover, running in the February 23rd, 2027 Chicago mayoral race. Go to ChicagoMayorVote.com. Go to ChicagoMayorElect.com. ChicagoVoteRegistration.com. ChicagoMayoral.com. JohnKitoverChicago.com. Like this video, share and subscribe. Together we will liberate Chicago from the Democrat, liberal, communist, progressive liars, the fraudsters, the scammers. Turns out you can't be racist. It's against the law. Reparations was a scam. You can't discriminate now. It's against the Constitution. What are you doing with your life these days, John? Oh, I pretend to play the fiddle on YouTube. That's awesome. I love that for you. It's a living. Is that guy really playing the violin? It really kind of looks like it, right? Am I seeing things or hearing things? Which one is it? Is John Kitover playing Paganini? John Kitover plays the violin. Have you seen Kitover play Paganini on YouTube? It's incredible.
Your mother was a hooker.
Your mother was a hooker.
All right. How old are
Now, once again, I'm trying to read.
This is what I need. Like everybody else, I'll be giving grace to. Let him read, and please do not talk to him while you're reading it, bro. Just read it.
Okay, and then you have another one in Killeen. A jury found Staff Sergeant Marlon Beast not guilty of murder in 2025 after he shot and killed the man during an altercation. His attorney argued it was self-defense when the man just struck him and the sergeant pulled out his firearm and fatally killed him. This was just off someone hitting him once again, but he was acquitted. Advantage of capital murder and murder charges in 2021 of a double shooting after receiving self-defense instructions and accepted the defense's theory of the case. So those are 3 cases within just a couple years of someone just being hit by someone's hand and then killing them after, and they got acquitted.
Yeah, so what we have to
now
do,
go look up the circumstances. Hold on. Exactly. Now you go look up the circumstances.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna debunk
but what I know is
now. So now, can we break down those?
No, we have to read the facts of the case.
Yes.
But that may be a little too much reading.
Hold on, Mr. 400. All I'm saying is this.
Yes.
For this man to say, because this is what the argument is. The young man, Anthony, is saying when he was attacked, he feared for his life. So that is the reason of him pulling out the knife. And in that case, if he claims this, right, that means the knife is justified. Because if someone punches you and you receive them back with fighting them back, yes, that's proportionate, yes. But now if you're in fear of your life, you can pull out that legal weapon if you want to. That's Texas law.
So that claim was never made.
Now, according to the defense, yes, it was. That's what they were arguing.
What's the first case? What's the first case? Because we're going to pull the case and we're going to read the facts of that case. What's the first case you mentioned? What's the first case?
The first case is Tarrant in Tarrant County. Juan Ramos Escamilla. Juan, J-U-A-N-R-A-M-O-S. That's Ramos, obviously you know that. And E-S-C-A-M-I-L-L-A. It was a murder in 2025 after he stabbed someone of a confrontation when someone hit him.
Can I address something real quick before y'all continue this banter back and forth? Mike said in the chat,
and that happened in Fort Worth, Texas.
Resistance, you hear me, bro?
My bad.
Nah, you good, Kim. Just give me one moment. Mike says that Carmelo, a white man, ironically, Carmelo was not in fear for his life, or he wouldn't have talked shit and would have walked away when asked. That's not true at all. Not everybody that's scared is gonna freeze up and retreat. Right? Retreating is not the only indicator that a person is scared. I've been scared of plenty of situations. That's why it's called fight or flight. Those are both fear responses. Some people will fight for their life, others will retreat. So let's not say because he stood his ground means that he's null and void of fear, because that's not true. You probably should read a book.
So real quick, Mr. Sniper, he could be in fear. The problem is, right, he could be in fear. The problem is you have to go off what's being said. Unless it's the same logic, and I hate to bring this knowledge up, where this probably a lot more passive, a lot more tolerable. Someone comes up to a guy and says, hey, man, let me use your bike real quick. And the guy's like, sure, yeah, go ahead. He's like, yeah, I'll be right back. He called the police on the guy as soon as the guy takes the bike, right? The cops get the guy. He said, hey, man, he told me I could use his bike. And the police asked, why did you call the police? And you say, you told me to use his bike. I was afraid he was going to take it anyway, so I just told him yes. Like, do you see how stupid that sounds and how fucked up it is? Like, you may be scared and all that, but we have to go off what's actually said. So if he's daring them, which is escalating the situation, we just have to take it for what it is. So what he feels versus what he said is two different things. And more importantly of all, he had all the chance to clarify that, but he didn't. So this whole idea that we have to give him grace, he didn't even give himself the grace to give clarity on what he really felt during that time. So yeah, it's something we can't defend.
I got you. Yeah. And everybody saying, the whole retreat argument, there's no duty to retreat in Texas. That's one. So that's not a key indicator of whether you were scared or not. And there's something that's called deterring statements. People sometimes say stuff to deter you from doing anything. If I look like I want to meet you with the same aggression that you're meeting me with, sometimes it will deter you.
because you're like, oh, this person is not scared. You understand what I'm saying? So, no, he didn't outright say, yo, I'm going to kill you if you touch me. He said, touch me, and you'll find out. There's no duty to retreat, so he's well within his right to respond that way.
Can I give you all the
Damn,
details?
someone got
Someone
smart in here right now.
Can I give you all the details of the Fort Worth case if y'all like to hear it? So I looked it up. So the one that he brought up was John Ramos and Augustine Pineda. This is July 31st, 2023. I can give you guys the blow by blow, but pretty much John stabbed his friend Pineda one time and he died. They say Pineda was aggressive, he was drunk, he was wilding out. Juan's kids and wife were there, and he kept just wilding, and he attacked him. And he stabbed him one time with his pocket knife in the abdomen, and he bled out and died. So the defense made
Sounds very similar to this case.
No.
The dude was beating the shit out of him.
He wasn't beating the shit out of him. It don't say that. You're making things up.
His wife.
He's trying to make it seem like Anthony was getting jumped. You believe that resistance? You believe Anthony was getting jumped?
So
by those white boys? Absolutely.
But y'all allowed to finish.
I'll quote exactly. According to the defense, Pineda was drunk, violent, and lunged at Escamilla.
But before that, Pineda was beating Escamilla's wife.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had jumped on the man's wife and was beating the man's wife up.
So in other words, it's not the same. Okay, gotcha.
It's not the same.
And he said he stabbed him one time. It's something, he's wilding out drunk, so he stabbed
It is the same. That beating his wife got nothing to do with him.
Now
what that got to do with him?
We shouldn't entertain resistance. No,
yeah, I am
serious. Jesse, don't do it. Don't, please. He's a troll. His brain is for real.
No, the only troll here is you because you're another coon.
Well, anyway,
hey, other mods, can y'all just help me out, man? I don't just sitting there and just put that person that's gonna keep on interrupting the conversation.
I got you.
I'm working, but
Hey, resistance. Let's try to keep it on a conversation and not make personal attacks. Now, if somebody says something about you, I'll let it rock. But if you but he just did this on me. What do y'all selective hearing? Listen, bro. I need you to calm down. I'm just talking to you as a man, bro. If nobody, I ain't got no problem with you, brother. I'm just saying, but he did insult me first. That's why I called him that. I'm not getting this. I got you. So listen, fellas, don't throw stones and hide your hands. If you say something to him and he say something back, you know what I'm saying? Let's be men and have a civil conversation, please.
Also, in most states, in the state of Texas, you are allowed to use force to defend other people. And oddly enough, you're allowed to use deadly force to defend other people's property in the state of Texas. But I think they repealed that part over the one case. But you can use force to defend other people, especially your family.
And people have to understand what being a provocateur is, which I keep homing in on this point, right?
Yeah, but not assessing.
They were on equal footing. They were on equal footing. You asking someone to do something like move, asking, because again, that's what I was trying to address what you're saying, 400. If he said you better move or else, you're right, that would be a threat. For sure, I would take that as a threat. I know other people said no, I would. But someone said you better move just by itself, that sounds like a threat. So I think it's reasonable to accept that as a threat. The problem is, that's not what alleged happened in this case. That's the issue. So when you guys frame this a certain way, I can't defend it because you frame it in a way that's indefensible. The problem is, you need to go off the facts that the case was alleged. This is why people consider him an aggressor. It was never framed that they just came him in a fashion the way he needs to defend himself. It seemed like they came to him in a fashion to where they just wanted to iterate their grievances. Hey, could you please leave out 10? Could you leave out 10? They ain't got to say please. Hey, we need you to move, man. Like, you're not here. This is our shit, right? He turned it up by saying, you pussies ain't going to do nothing. Touch me and see what happened. I dare you to touch me, XYZ. Some of the sort. That is the escalation. That's the provocation, right? And when you start doing that, you're taking it to another level, which warrants some type of physical action. And again, they didn't have to touch him because what could happen, he could have just said that the whole time, and they just got a coach or a teacher, or just let him sit that whole fucking game. Who gives a fuck? But the point is, for the fact he did that, he loses every right to claim self-defense. He's not in a stand your ground position. That actually puts Metcalf in a stand your ground position, because Metcalf is where he's supposed to be. Metcalf is doing everything right in this particular situation. He's not. So the bottom line is, this boy don't have a defense in y'all at this point. I understand.
And this is the part that I'm arguing because you're wrong.
I understand you guys believe that. The problem is the case.
That's the point.
Jesus.
You're believing the prosecutor. Say that you believe the prosecutor because the defense did put that up as an argument, saying that they told him you better leave or else.
I didn't finish.
It's in the I'm reading it here though. You're lying.
The problem is the evidence doesn't support that.
Yeah, but that's one thing has nothing to do with that. You're saying that wasn't an argument.
Resistance. But you're for a second. The problem, I got you. The problem of the matter is, and this is definitely why I was very unwise for him to do what he did. You're by yourself. You don't have no one on your side. If it was my son, if it was me, I would have fucked it up. It's called risk assessment. Hey, can I even win this situation? I cannot beat these boys. I cannot do anything to them. I'm by myself and I don't have my coach or nothing. The best option was to leave. Now, yeah, you didn't have to leave. Yeah, it's not what he had to do. What's the most logical thing to do? Like, this is why we get fucked up in a lot of cases, because we just pick the dumbest option. Like, hey, option A, leave and mitigate the situation. Option B, escalate, challenge these motherfuckers. Let me challenge them and go grab a knife and challenge them again to touch me again. This is fucking dumb. We need to stop this. We have to.
My intuition tells me you guys are arguing with resistance who isn't even black. You sound like Puerto Rican or something. Something from upper New York.
You see what I'm saying? So why can't I attack her now? Why can't I call her dumb monkey that she is because she thinks she knows my race?
You're not black. Are you black?
You're not black, bitch. You look like a white girl.
I'm a bitch. You see that? He got mad, guys, because I just figured it out. He's not black.
Definitely. Let me get in, please.
Yeah, but that's the rhetoric of someone that's not black. You guys, I lived in New York for 2 years, so I know the accents, and I travel the country a lot. I know accents and stuff of people that aren't like black and white. So that he's like a Hispanic from like New Yorkish area, New Jersey, somewhere like that. So he's in here trying to propagate this type of violence for black people to be violent, and he's not even black. That's why he got so mad, because if he would have said, I am black.
Can I get it?
You know what? That's neither. He's irrelevant. That's why most of us are not paying him any attention. But here's the thing that I've been listening to everybody, that is, people are getting this whole case, and you can tell I'm glad a lot of you people are not on juries. They keep saying that Carmelo Anthony had a knife. He did not have a knife. Even in the trial, they labeled it a tool. They labeled it a tool. They labeled it a tool. That's during the whole trial. I got the minutes.
Back in the great city of Chicago, the Windy City, for one of my favorite things to do, a Bubble IRL event, we got the big pitched event, Wednesday night Chicago, Paradise Park, 7 to 9 p.m. Come by, basically, just going to be people pitching their hot single friends. Roman's going to be pitching me. He's going to be my wingman. I hope he pitches me well. I mean, Roman's a convincing guy. He's going to be like, oh, this is Tommy. He's the best. It's going to be a great event. Paradise Park, Wednesday night. Come by, 7 p.m. These are always so much fun. I'm so glad to be doing it.
They were actually charging him with. This whole case, this young man is going to get a reversal. My Doug Bully is saying it first. His case is going to get overturned, and he's going to walk away like Bill Cosby did. That's what the fuck is going to happen. Somebody, anybody, I challenge any one of you on this act. I don't care what your position, what your belief is. Go get the indictment and read it in this room. I'm done.
Let me say something real quick, Ray, because I know everybody is hung up on his words during the approach. He said something to the effect of "Don't touch me, or else or touch me, you're gonna find out." So I'm on the Texas Law website. I'm interacting with the AI, and I'm getting.
Yo, fuck the Texas Law website. Go get the indictment.
You have to let me finish. I just let you finish, bro. Please.
But if you get the indictment, that is what he went to trial on. He didn't go to trial on that Texas law bullshit. He went to trial on what was inside of his indictment.
Please, not with emotions. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but everybody is saying that because he said "Don't touch me or else" or something to that effect, that it makes it a threat. Actually, under Texas law, it's considered a verbal warning.
That's not true, bro, because you got to read the indictment. All of that stuff that you're reading to the latter is false. Everything that you're reading.
Just allow Back in the great city of Chicago, the Windy City, for one of my favorite things.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Do a Bumble IRL.
So saying something like "Don't touch me or else" when a person approached you, right, in a menacing way, which the Metcalf brother did, is not generally looked at as a threat. It's looked at as a verbal warning. I'm just saying for the people that's saying that. I'm reading it right now.
All right, so here's my man. Y'all gotta forgive this excitement. I'm not even gonna call it passion.
Nah, we know what it is, bro.
I'm just pissed off because people are actually uninformed. People are actually uninformed. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, he had a knife. He stabbed him with a knife." And if you actually read the indictment, I haven't even read the indictment yet. I want to read it. I want to see what that group of people in that room, in that secret room, decided to say, this is enough evidence to take this young man to trial. That is what he went to trial on. Anything that is outside of that indictment, pure propaganda, pure fodder to make that jury be bolstered and biased and come into a decision. That's what the fuck they did. Even during the trial, they showed what the weapon was. What the tool, I forgot exactly the tool. It's something tool they called it.
It was a cleat. He called it a weapon.
No, not a cleat. Hold on, stop.
It's in my PTR. It's in my PTR, guys. I put the link in the chat too.
No, he's not talking about that. He's saying what they called it in court. Wasn't it utility?
They call it multi-tool.
No.
Yeah, multi-tool.
Hold on. Okay,
it's semantics though. It's still a knife.
Hold on.
Free. Hold on.
I'm gonna let you go. Let me land here.
When he's finished speaking, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna land here. It was a utility tool. Thank you for who said that. A utility tool is exactly what it was. Anybody that you hear keep calling it a knife, there's some biased ass, ignorant, step and fetch it, fucking coon ass motherfuckers that say knife, and they want to see this young black man convicted. I'm done speaking.
So I will.
Thank you. So real quickly, is that mine?
Next. I thought I was next.
Oh, my bad, bro. Can I, you mind real quickly? 10 seconds, bro.
Free. Roy haven't spoken yet. Could you tell us?
Go ahead. That's fine. I'll go out there.
So I will go ahead and be that coon, step and fetch it, such and such. For all intents and purposes, it was a knife. They showed a fight. In fact, I will tell you exactly. Y'all can Google it right now. It is an Ozark Trail 6-in-1 multi-tool. Now, that is the marketing terminology used by Ozark Trail. If you actually look at the thing, it is a knife. All intents and purposes, it is a knife. It has a 3.5-inch folding blade that comes out like any other folding knife. They called it a multi-tool, and I'm assuming this is marketing purposes that Walmart just doesn't want to sell something called a knife. But like, it comes with a tiny little flashlight on it. At the bottom, there's a seatbelt cutter that's in the hilt of the handle, and I think it has a flint scraper. But those are just extra add-ons. If you saw it on the ground, anybody around here would look at it and say, "That's a knife."
This is another part of it.
Okay,
I was actually next. Hold on, I was next.
Wait a minute. Wait a second. On that utility tool, what else is on there? A screw cork? What else is on there?
There's a flashlight at the bottom of the hilt. There's a blade inside the bottom used to cut your seatbelt. There's
come on, man.
Move that motherfucker.
You realize the townhouse newsroom yesterday. The censorship of echo
Look at my PTR, brother. That's what it is. So you keep describing it. Just look at my PTR.
Wait a minute. I asked a question. I just wanted to get the answer on it. So on that same.
That is not what it was in his trial. That's not it. Y'all niggas, that's why I hate you niggas. That's not what it was. That's not what it was.
What are you talking about?
Let's do a PTR, the one they call
Look at my PTR.
That's it.
Put me on 400, yeah.
Well, if you have something different, PCR. If you say something
Hold on a second.
It was
Hold on, I'm going to get what it was. These are lying motherfuckers. That's why I hate you niggas.
Exactly, that's a fucking knife. And I put the link in the chat for me too, by the way.
If it's something different, don't bring the photo.
No, we're not going to go with that. We can't go with that.
Why
Not that type of knife, but the knife is a knife.
It's really marketed as a utility tool. You can look this up and it'll tell you it's a utility tool, but it's still a knife.
Everybody wants to attack when they don't have anyone to agree with them. Just take it easy, okay? We're just only having a discussion, right? A utility knife has multiple things on it, and then he was at a track meet, so he didn't go there as if he was running through some streets trying to protect himself. Can we say yes and no to that? He was at a track meet, right? Isn't he a runner?
You're absolutely
correct. But that don't mean his intentions weren't to hurt somebody if he felt like he needed to. He thought that just in case and shit.
You cannot. Hold on. You cannot be the person like you with Miss Cleo or something like that. In that case, somebody's on the back. You got two to three people. Even just two people because they were twins. So if one brother do something, the other one is going to. I don't want to hear. Please don't do that to me. All right? Because if your brother do something, you're going to react with your brother too at the same time too. Right? Yes or no?
But that didn't happen. They didn't do anything. All right,
Yes,
yeah, you're right, generally speaking, but that didn't happen.
I asked you a
yes,
question.
I would generally. Yes.
All right,
I'm saying yes, I would generally speaking.
Don't go too far, Range. Yes, because
of course, no,
when you're in that predicament, that's the only time you can say, okay, this was again, this motherfucker right here, and these big ass motherfuckers. Nah, I'm not fighting these niggas. Like if I had to, I'm gonna protect myself. Right? That's what happens.
If you have to, that's a key word. Yes.
So he didn't go to the track meet with intentions to hurt someone. Now, if I know if I'm going to go somewhere with a couple of dudes on that were the opposite color as myself, I'm going to carry a gun with me because I might get touched. And if I have to use that gun, I know I'm going to have to do time because I went there with intentions to hurt somebody or kill somebody if they put their hands on me. This wasn't the case with that young man.
Let me ask you a question real quickly. When he was on that tent and they asked him to move, right? And he said, no, and you guys, some of you guys say y'all play football and sports or whatever, right? Let me tell you psychology, just as human, but especially us in that space as young boys. You go to your rival team, right? You see how they are, you can holler, they get chilly, this little fuck, whatever, but you go in their space, right? And you linger about and they kind of get mad at you. And then they talk shit. Let's say all this boils over. The first thing you say to your boys in that space, man, I bitched them niggas. I was in their space, man. Niggas trying to leave. I was just, and your boys probably looking at you from a distance when they show up on the scene. They looking like, yo, what you doing over there? Man, I'm just trying these niggas. These niggas are weak. That is bolstering.
Where's the question? You said you had a question.
Yeah, I do have a question. Well, I was going to just ask if I felt like we were going to jump around, so let me go and ask a question. Do you not think that right there is some offensive that you go into your team's space and you just linger about, knowing that the chances that they're going to engage you at some point, because you're in that space, like it's a 10. Think about that 10 is usually what, about 10 by 10 approximately at best.
You don't have to persuade us to our answer. I get what you're saying, right? Do you want me to?
Well, I can't play that, but I'm going to shut all this down. Guess it starts in 45 minutes.
Do things to try to dox and get rid of people and say things that are not true. Spreading propaganda. That lacks virtue. It's very vulgar. Just not something. I mean,
both of us and me and Bubby have been doxed, so we're not rules. We don't really care.
Yeah, we've been in the community for like 10 years now. We go all the way back to like the early Jack Angstrike days, way before your time, to Mario.
And when he was kicking people's asses in a movie theater and shit.
Yeah, that's some elite level knowledge right there. So what I'm saying is, to Mario, the way this community works, what they're doing to you is they're trying to pull you in, and they've successfully done it. It's like a form of dark magic that they're doing to you.
No, see, when we said about the beating up in the movie theater, he probably thinks we're joking, right?
No, yeah,
seriously. The best part of that. He's the best part of that whole thing.
Do you know who Jack Angstrike is, to Mario?
No. Could you imagine beating somebody up because they wouldn't shut up? They wouldn't.
Yeah.
In the movie theater.
And admitting it.
And then he said he
stayed, like, even though the cops got called, because he couldn't miss the movie.
Yeah, because he watches a certain amount of, like, he's watched every single movie.
Apparently, like, he said in that documentary that he would, like, sit in, like, the cinema for, like, 17 hours at a time, and so he would eat foods that, like, made him constipated on purpose so that he wouldn't shit, so he could just sit there all day and watch movies.
Yeah, because he was so full of shit that he was,
Oh my gosh.
Was not.
Mario, this is the man who started this community. So, like, who do you think is the leader of this community right now, Mario?
Hey, again, these are things that I don't think about, but I don't know.
Well, right now, I think It's Cora that's.
No, it's not. Believe it or not.
You know, I think Cora should do an audiobook with her voice reading Greek mythology. I'd totally buy that.
Do you like Plato?
I would love to do that tomorrow.
Wait, who's muting my boy, Bibi?
It's Daniel.
Bubby.
It's Daniel Nero.
Yeah, please, man. This is my boy, bro.
Yeah, be a good boy, Daniel Nero, and stop.
Anyway, I would love to do that tomorrow, but Stephen Fry is Chicago, and I can't outperform Stephen Fry.
Well, there's a, I suppose, I mean, okay, I hear you. But, Bubby, you know I love Plato, man. Why would you ask me that, Bubby?
Do you agree with his metaphysics?
No.
Wait, before you guys get to Plato, speaking of not shitting in your pants at the movie theater, I went to a hot dog stand yesterday, and as I walked into the hot dog stand, this giant fat guy blasted a huge fart, at the cash register. I was like, shouldn't you maybe pass yesterday's meal before you decide to come here and fart and then buy, $100 worth of hot dogs? Anyways, I am complete. Thank you all very little for muting me. I appreciate you very little. I hope you all have a great day with the rest of your platonic conversation. And Cora is definitely the leader. Megatron has lost control. Daniel has lost control.
So, do you think that you think Bob is the leader of the community right now, baby? I think it's Bob.
No. I think it's Andrew.
Yeah, but he always needs a sidekick. He can do it by himself.
His sidekick is Sully.
So wait, was Sully the guy in that video? That 5-hour video of him talking? Is that who was in that link that you provided? Because I obviously could only spend 15 seconds listening to him talk in his suit on that podcast.
Yeah, so we have there's a hierarchy of debate ranking people who debate. You know what I mean? And me and Bubby here have been on the bottom of that list many times. But if you read it backwards, it makes way more sense. Way more sense.
So what about Sully? He says he's an atheist.
The most hated people, right? They're usually at the bottom of the list, right?
Are the most hated people highly annoying people? Or are they extremely annoying people?
No, those people they're not memorable. What you're doing, John, is not memorable. You have.
Well, it's more memorable than what you're doing. I'm live on my YouTube on 20 different YouTubes. Let me put the link in the chat. I got evidence.
Okay.
I have evidence.
Are you
putting the link in the chat?
Choose a position and then tear it down every single day. Are you willing to do that? Are you ready? You're not ready. When you're ready, my poison, are you ready, is a dead Jew guy on a stick. That's what I chose. That's the hill I'm fucking dying on.
Well, you ain't dying on books, that's for sure. Because if that's what you're dying on, you're a schmuck. You don't even understand the symbols. I got a book of 5,000 symbols over here related to the whole fucking thing. I mean, if you want to play the same fucking video game every day, that's like going to the casino and playing your favorite slot machine. You're an idiot. That fucking slot machine is taking from you with every bet, sucking your opportunity away from you. You could keep playing the same video game every fucking day of the week. That's what you do. I get it.
Oh, I see what you're doing. And I've been noticing this about you within the last, week or so, probably. I think it was scattered in the beginning.
Scattered.
But you don't like, right?
Scattered.
The fact that you don't know how to start trends.
Oh.
Right? Like you come in here and you're getting mad.
He's the
that you're
trendsetter.
Right? And I can teach you. I can teach you how to do it, right?
He's the
Don't complain
zeitgeist.
about it.
Okay, Dr. Zeitgeist. If you say so, Dr. Zeitgeist, I didn't know you were a trendsetter in here. I get it. Yesterday, we collabed, and it was a success. We hit a home run. But that was because of the collab. And it was because of AI and Grok.
No, I think there's one thing that you just have to failing to recognize. Well, first of all, let me just, so that we, point of clarification. We already, arrived at the understanding that you're able to suck your own dick. Are you able to suck your own balls, dude?
You know, if you did as much yoga as I did, you could actually possibly kiss it. You could kiss the tip of it, maybe.
John, can you suck your, we know you can suck your own dick. Can you suck your own balls? Yes or no?
That's a no. That's a no. And I can barely kiss the tip. So when you say I can suck my dick, you're really making an all or nothing statement, which is not quite accurate, because if I can just extend my tongue out and put it into the hole of my scrotum, well, is that technically sucking your dick if you can just lick the tip of your penis?
All right, we got Cora on stage, guys. Can we
Cora likes
can we be a little can we not?
No.
Yeah, can we not? Because I don't want her to get upset that she's gonna leave. She's gonna leave. Then she's gonna have a secret meeting I'm not gonna know about, and then get blamed for not being there because I was sleeping. You know, so let's just chill out.
Dude, the best part about this is gonna be that if I do say something inappropriate, it's always gonna turn back to Barth.
Yeah.
Not worrying.
Yeah.
I can say what the fuck I want.
Always.
But anyway, John, when you swallow your father's cum, is there something about it that makes you feel like a cocksucker?
Well, projection alert detection activation system. When you say, if I enjoy drinking my father's splunkum, is that really related to the abuse?
He doesn't have it anymore, Barth. Dude, remember?
Doesn't have it anymore. Oh, I still got it. But you're just projecting your dad's horror story onto me, Nero. So enjoy your day. I'm going to go about my best life. Good luck, and God bless here in your redundant video game for retards. Take care now. Thank you very little. Bye-bye.
So well. It was weird. You know? Like we had this thing, like it was like we had sex. It was amazing. I almost cried.
It's a great collab right there. And, you know, whenever you have a Muslim in here who just won't give it up, just let me read the story of the untold thread. And then we can see where they stand in their family with regards to the pedophilic behavior.
Like, a trend like this where, in other words, apologetics would be done in this poetic way. Right?
See, what it is a hypnosis.
For another story too, I mean.
Oh my God, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, this story consists of the same frame, but I want to add the zinger in the beginning. I want to start the story with either, brother or the father of a daughter experience, you know what I mean? And then him realizing as a kid, he comes up and he's like, oh, you know what I mean? It's something that affected him before he found out this was the norm. Do you get what I mean? You get where I'm going? He knows where I'm going. Like the tragic thing, and then we find out, oh my God, he's brought the world, and he's a Muslim. And he doesn't realize that the very thing for experience is ultimately with that one person, so taught everything of, is that same very demise of his pain. Yeah, Daniel knows where I'm going with this, man. This is going to be an A&E special. And not for nothing, I got another one for you, John. And It's the death of the prophet. Daniel knew where I was going. He knew where I was going. Right? And I want a triple generation, starting with Aisha, the Coptic, Maria the Coptic, and then the woman who was taken from Kitover. I want all three of those, and then ultimately, right? The climax. John, we gotta have a private conversation. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna show. I got the whole thing mapped out. We're gonna have all I need is 2 minutes with you, and you can come up with the whole story. But you kind of get where I'm going with that.
Okay, here is your new story. I just put everything you said into Grok AI. It's called The Veil of Innocence, a collab between Megatron Productions and John Kitover Media Incorporated, a Delaware-based corporation. In the sun-baked streets of a quiet village in rural Pakistan, young Ahmed grew up under the call of the Muezzin. His father, a gentle imam who had passed away when Ahmed was only 8, had taught him the basics of faith with love and stories. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the perfect example. His father would say merciful, wise, and just. Ahmed memorized verses from the Quran, prayed 5 times a day, and fasted during Ramadan with a pure heart. He had never heard the troubling details that scholars debated in the distant madrasas or online forums. To him, Aisha was simply the beloved wife, the learned scholar, the mother of the believers. Her story wrapped in reverence and innocence, the world was simple and faith was his anchor. When Ahmed grew into a man, life pulled him toward the wider world. He moved to the city for work, studied engineering, and began reading voraciously. One night, scrolling through forums and historical texts, he stumbled upon accounts from the Hadiths, Sahih, Bukhari, and others, detailing that Aisha was betrothed at 6 or 7, and the marriage was consummated when she was 9. The numbers hit him like a blow. His teachers had always spoken in vague, respectful terms, or avoided the age entirely. Disillusionment crept in. If this is true, he thought, how can he be a perfect moral example for all time? Doubts multiplied. He questioned other aspects of the faith, miracles, conquests, contradictions he now saw everywhere. By his mid-20s, Ahmed declared himself an atheist. There is no God, he told his mother bitterly. Only stories men tell to control other men. The fall was swift. Without faith, Ahmed felt untethered. He lost his engineering job after clashing with devout colleagues over religion. Friends distanced themselves. His savings dwindled on failed ventures and aimless living. He drank to numb the void which only worsened his health. A mysterious illness took hold. Fevers, weakness, and pain that doctors could not fully diagnose. He ended up in a rundown shack on the edge of the city, begging for scraps, his body wasting away. Poverty stripped him of dignity. Sickness robbed him of hope. Nights blurred into one long fever dream of regret. What have I done? He whispered to the empty darkness. One particularly cold night, as Ahmed lay shivering on his thin mat, he slipped into a deep, vivid dream. There, in a sunlit garden that smelled of roses and incense, stood his father, young, strong, and smiling. As Ahmed remembered him from childhood prayers, "My son," his father said, his voice warm and steady, "you have wandered far because you sought truth, but stopped halfway." Ahmed fell to his knees. "Father, I learned the truth about Aisha, her age. How can any man defend that? It shattered everything." His father placed a hand on Ahmed's shoulder. "The records are there, Ahmed. The Prophet married Aisha when she was young, as was the custom of tribes and kings in that harsh desert world of the 7th century. Girls matured early. Alliances were sealed through family bonds. Aisha herself narrated the accounts proudly later in life, becoming one of the greatest scholars of Islam, leading armies and teaching thousands. She lived to old age, respected and influential. But the deeper truth you missed, my son, is context, not excuse. Every era has its norms. Great figures are judged by the light they brought, not by modern standards alone. Muhammad ended female infanticide, elevated women's rights in inheritance and divorce compared to his time, and built a community from chaos. Yet he was a man of his time, not a flawless angel above history. True faith grapples with this. Rather than fleeing into denial or blind rejection, atheism offered you no answers, only emptiness. The universe still whispers of design. Return to seeking truth without fear, the real kind, full and unfiltered. Tears streamed down Ahmed's face in the dream. I was so lost. Truth heals when embraced wholly, his father said. Wake now. Live! Ahmed jolted awake at dawn, sweat soaked but strangely calm. The fever that had plagued him for months was gone. His limbs felt strong again. He rose, unsteady at first, and walked outside into the golden light, digging near an old olive tree behind his shack, a spot his father had once mentioned in stories of their ancestors. Ahmed's hand struck something hard. He unearthed a small, weathered chest. Inside gleamed gold coins, ancient jewelry, and faded documents, a forgotten family inheritance buried during times of war, worth enough to change his life. Strength returned fully over the following days. With his health restored and newfound resources, Ahmed rebuilt. He studied deeply, reading history, philosophy, and scripture with fresh eyes, neither naive believer nor angry rejecter. Months later, at a community gathering, he met Fatima. She was kind, intelligent, and shared his quiet quest for meaning. The conversations flowed easily from faith to doubt to discovery. In time, they fell in love. They married in a simple ceremony under the open sky, vowing to seek truth together, raising any future children with honesty about history's complexities and humanity's enduring search for the divine. Ahmed's life became one of balance, prosperous yet humble, healthy in body and spirit. He never forgot the dream. The truth had not been simple condemnation or whitewash, but a call to mature understanding, and in accepting it, he found his way home. His new wife, Fatima, was only 8 years old.
Where else are you gonna do that, Tamario? Huh?
What was that?
I said, where else are you gonna do that? Is that stoic? My man out stoic you right there. You can't be no better stoic than that. He just buried you. Actually, you should never bring up stoicism again. That's what I'm saying, Tamario. That's my advice to you. Especially around John. Other people, yeah, but when he's around, just don't bring it up. All right?
Sure, Bob.
Well, I like Stoicism. I have this Harvard classic of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Plato, and it has this one little passage called the Hymn to Cleanthes. Have you ever read it or heard of it? Because it discusses a lot of very important, Yeah, Hymn to Zeus, same thing. Because if you believe in the one God, or if you're an atheist or a polytheist or a monotheist, you know, it's an important document to read to understand what people, you know, what is this little hymn saying? It's saying quite a lot. And it's beautiful and it's empowering. And it talks about universal law. Well, you can't have law without enforcement. Hello?
Cleanthes really go from Zeno to Chrysippus, I think, really had it kind of figured out. And then later
it's pronounced Chrysippus. Chrysippus. Okay, we've hit the 3-hour mark on the John Kitover show this morning. Thank you all for being a part of this musical entertainment experience. Without you, none of this could have been possible. Never had one lesson.
You know, if you were playing that, it's awesome. Were you playing that, or were you like?
Yeah, this is called the Chinese flute. You can go on my YouTube live right now if you want to see my bald head.
Yeah, not bad, man. Are you trying to say something, Lord? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's a little better, sir.